Welcome everyone to this webinar about enterprise mobility. My name is Morten Müller, and with me I have Arne Skolhaug, who is Commercial Product Manager. Together, we'll share with you some of CapaSystems' thoughts about the perspectives of enterprise mobility. This is not going to be a product demonstration, although there will be some hints and tips and tricks. Rather, the idea is to share the solutions to some of the challenges that our consultants and service managers experience when they visit our customers. In this webinar, we use GoToWebinar. We invite you to send your comments and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So don't hesitate to contact us during the session or afterwards. Use the questions dialog in GoToWebinar. Write your question, click Send privately, and we'll get in touch. The agenda is quite straightforward. We'll start with a short discussion about enterprise mobility. Mobile devices have until recently been treated somewhat stepmotherly by IT departments. This has now come to an end, and in many organizations, smartphones and tablets are now valuable working tools in lots of positions, from service technicians to doctors, business executives, and especially IT professionals. We'll shortly point out the essentials about mobility management. What to look for when developing mobile policies, architecture, and when choosing configuration and management tools. Last but not least, we'll sum up the main points that we believe you'll benefit from. Let's start by taking a look at what has happened in the usage of desktops and mobiles during the last 8 years, and where all this fuss about mobility comes from. As you can see, the global number of mobile users really took off from 2010, and it exceeded the number of desktop users by mid-2013. This mobile revolution was not initiated because business leaders saw smartphones as essential to their workforce. No, the revolution came from the masses, when users got accustomed to the flexibility and convenience of always having a full-featured smartphone or tablet available. The mobility approach has now been adopted by enterprises that exploit the business potential. At CapaSystems, we believe we're still only scratching the surface of the features related to enterprise mobility, and that there's going to be a lot of benefits as well as challenges related to mobility ahead. The importance of enterprise mobility is hard to overestimate. It's potentially one of the main initiatives for IT management to innovate and thereby contribute to development of the business. Most organizations will have to address the following tasks in the nearby future, if they haven't already done so. Develop mobile policies, including security, bring your own device, etc. Develop architectures specifically for mobile platforms. Develop strategies for reaching customers and employees through mobility. Evaluate the risks as well as the needs and wants of their employees. Find a point of balance between individual convenience and corporate control. In order to get full benefit from the mobile revolution, the need for efficient and reliable tools should not be neglected. This is what we'll focus on in the next few minutes. Despite the look of this slide, this will not turn into a math lesson, so please hang on. The equation that's shown here covers the conceptual elements of EMM, Enterprise Mobility Management. As you probably have noted, there are parentheses around MAM and MCM. This is to emphasize the distinction between managing the mobile device, that's MDM, and managing app functionality, MAM, as well as the content available to users, MCM. Let's go through the slide's items one by one and see how it all adds up. An up-to-date mobile device management MDM tool will give you functionality so that all necessary software, including security and policies, can be provisioned, monitored, and regularly updated over the air without having to be in contact with the end user. MDM can be used to enforce device passwords, application blacklists or whitelists, and to remotely wipe all critical content in the event of theft or loss. Keep in mind that you'll meet a demand for support for several mobile platforms, presently the 3 major ones as a minimum. Furthermore, you'll do yourself a great favor by having your mobile devices and computers managed through the same tool. Having control over devices is therefore a prerequisite for mobility management. The purpose of mobile application management, MAM, is to have control over enterprise applications. It's usually built into the application. MAM applies management to individual applications which are then delivered via enterprise app stores. Applications are of course not of much value without content and data. This is why we have mobile content management, MCM. Just as application management, this is taken care of in the development of the app. A full EMM suite includes MDM, MAM, and MCM. You'll probably not be able to find them all at a satisfactory level in one tool. There is, however, no doubt that you'll have to get your mobile device management in place before the 2 others can be addressed. Now I'd like to introduce Peter Lewis, who is an IT manager at a company we call Industrial Cleaning Machines. Just as the company is fictive, Peter Lewis is not a real person either. So this is all about giving you some examples of enterprise mobility management as it's experienced by our customers and CapaSystems professional service consultants. Let's take a look at a day in the life of Peter Lewis. If you ask Peter about the tasks that take most of his attention right now, it's enterprise mobility. Since Peter started as an IT manager at ICM, there has been a tremendous change in the use of IT, and mobility is the latest branch on the tree. ICM has used mobile devices for decades. It's been no big deal until now, when a smartphone or tablet has changed into a computer that by default is connected to a telephone network. What this means to Peter Lewis and his staff of 14 IT technicians and service desk employees we'll try to outline for you now. It's 7:25 on a Monday morning. Peter is on his way to the office in his car when he receives a call from an unknown number. The call turns out to be from the marketing director who's using his wife's phone because he's lost his own phone during the weekend. To be on the safe side, all information on the lost phone must be erased, and the new phone must be prepared for restoration of backup, apps, emails, etc. The company's IT service desk doesn't open until 8 a.m., so Peter pulls over and switches off his car engine. He uses Kappa Installer to check the status of the lost phone, and he blocks access to the lost phone so nobody will be able to use it. Peter also sends an email to Service Desk asking them to prepare a new phone for the Marketing Director ASAP. The Marketing Director receives his new phone at 8:20 a.m. and as soon as he enters his passcode on the new phone, he regains access to all his content which has been restored from a cloud backup. It's 9 a.m. and Peter Lewis is in a meeting with David from Human Resources. They discuss how ICM should deal with a finding from the latest employee satisfaction survey, that employees want more freedom in their choice of smartphones. David from Human Resources believes that giving employees total freedom of choice will improve satisfaction and that it will also support ICM's image as a technically innovative company, not least when it comes to attracting younger employees. David knows from his former job at a university that students are used to bringing their own devices and having access to apps and data. Peter argues that there's a large difference between a campus environment and ICM. Furthermore, Peter is responsible for the budget for purchase of smart devices, and he invites offers from vendors on an ongoing basis. He's sure that Kappa Installer will easily be able to manage all major platforms and mobile device models. But he's not happy with the idea of letting employees bring their own devices without any control. In the end, they decide that the company will subsidize the purchase of mobile devices for employees who want a model that isn't covered by ICM's existing vendor agreements. According to an agreement with the trade unions, employees who choose to use their privately owned smartphones for work purposes must have received a copy of ICM's privacy policy so that they know exactly which types of information ICM will have access to on their personal devices. The agreement with the trade unions came into place after ICM were able to document that Kappa Installer only registers information about hardware, platform, and installed apps, and no personal information or usage information. Peter Lewis has a status meeting with staff from Desktop and Device Management at 11 a.m. It's about an update that was rolled out late last week to ICM's service technicians. When ICM's service technicians are on the road, they use mobile devices for planning service visits, ordering spare parts, managing service agreements, etc. In order to have these IT services available on mobile devices, a high degree of physical and data protection is required. The established security policies at ICM demand that authentication and encryption are done at several layers. This means that users are authenticated both on the mobile device and when accessing corporate content, and that data transmission has to be encrypted. To get higher security in the data transmissions to ICM's corporate data, they got a new contract with their mobile operator, which has given them a new APN configuration for their mobile devices. APN is the gateway between the mobile network and the computer network, so it's essential to all transmissions of data. During the status meeting, a question comes up. It's about a new feature in Samsung Knox, and Peter suggests that a new member of staff should write to the Kappa Installer user community to find out if any other users have experience with the new feature. ICM has had a software bureau develop an enterprise campaign app for them. The app is currently being tested on a range of the different mobile devices that are used at ICM. ICM runs campaigns with special offers and new products 4 times a year, and before each campaign, the ICM sales reps' enterprise campaign apps must be updated. In a simple 5-step workflow, the enterprise app can be replaced with a newer version with the application editor. Now the upgrade process on the devices can be scheduled and executed. This example is illustrated with a healthcare app from SmartCare. The process is as follows. 1. Place the updated enterprise app on an accessible, preferably local, file system. 2. In the console, locate and edit the app payload being updated. 3. Browse for the updated enterprise app on the file system and select the new version. 4. The app will be checked and the new version added to the app payload. 5. Now the app is updated and ready to be deployed in the next service window. Fortunately, there are no more meetings in the calendar for Peter Lewis this Monday. He can focus on an administrative task regarding license compliance for mobile apps that has bothered him for a while. The problem has been that the apps available at different stores by default have been licensed to the end user. Since the service technicians and other employees at ICM each have 2 to 3 mobile devices, the management of devices, applications and licenses has been a challenge. Apple has created a volume purchase program that makes it much easier to manage Apple devices and to be license compliant. The task at hand is to estimate the number of licenses required. With the volume purchase program, Apple makes it possible for enterprises to buy licenses for applications and assign these licenses to Apple users. When the user is done with the application, the program lets you withdraw it and use it for another user. Compared with earlier, this will make administration of licenses much more efficient and save money for lost licenses. Furthermore, it's possible to assign the license to the device, even if an Apple user is not yet configured on the device. When you assign applications to devices, the license will automatically be assigned to the user of the device. When you uninstall the application, the license will be withdrawn without you having to do any other management procedure. Peter Lewis makes a calculation of the number of users for the 4 most common apps used on Apple devices, and he sends it to his staff for comments. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. This Monday, Peter Lewis decides to go home early so he can spend some time with his family. He knows that all desktop and mobile device management tasks will be taken care of by Service Desk, and that in Kappa Installer they have a highly reliable tool. Before Peter leaves for home, he sees that he has received an email from the Kappa Installer user group with some answers about the Samsung Knox feature they talked about earlier. Together with the answers, there's even a short description of how to activate and deactivate the feature through policies in Kappa Installer. Peter makes a note in his diary that he must remember to say thanks for the help with the new Android feature at the next Kappa Installer user group meeting. We have tried to share with you some of the experiences and thoughts we have about enterprise mobility. There are plenty of other subjects to address. That will have to be the next time we invite you to a webinar. To sum up the main topics from today's session: have your mobile strategy and policies in place. Think mobility for IT operations as well as for users. Have one tool for both computer and mobile management. And make sure you have the freedom to choose among all major platforms. Thank you very much for participating today. We hope that you found something useful during this session. We'll be available for a while, so don't hesitate to contact us. If you come up with questions at a later stage or would like to get in touch with us for other reasons, please use the email address or call us at CapaSystems. Thank you for your time and have a good day.